All right, short segment here just to take a look at, of course, the idea of limiting natural gas when it comes to new buildings. Welcome back, Bishop on Air. I'm Greg Bishop. Each and every weekday morning, wake up, hang out with you, give you guys some food for thought on a variety of different things. We were just talking about the city of Chicago with the ongoing migrant crisis and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson responding to Governor J.B. Pritzker about resource management and whether or not there's going to be more shelters. But one thing's clear, it's cold out, and some of these shelters need heat. And those living in older homes, they need heat and a pretty, consistent form of energy for heat, natural gas. But there's a move in Chicago and in elsewhere throughout the country to limit natural gas for certain buildings, including those in new construction. And this was a measure that was brought up in Chicago. And it's always interesting to see this play out because there has been similar measures brought up at the Illinois State House. But Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson could possibly get this idea across the finish line. Here's what he had to say about this idea of limiting natural gas for future construction.
This ordinance is a step forward. We have to take it. We have to do it for our people. We have to do it for the planet. I'm committed to an ongoing dialogue with all stakeholders to ensure no one is left behind during this transition as we move away from fossil fuel use. Chicago has a long storied history of leading on clean building policies that improve energy efficiency and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Chicago will continue to be a leader in this important work and demonstrate to the nation how to best build with sustainability and, of course, with equity. I look forward to the passage of this ordinance as well as the benefits that we will achieve in our city. So thank you all again.
So the mayor also went on to talk more about how he says this will make an impact for residents' health and the environment, he says.
The ordinance is bold and it is achievable. It is one of the most important policies that we can pursue here in Chicago to reduce our climate change impact, and it's focused on new buildings. This ordinance will improve the safety, comfort, and health of all who reside and work in our environment throughout the city of Chicago by phasing out or replacing fossil fuel burning equipment in buildings or major additions covered by the ordinance. We're also going to alleviate the energy burden for Chicagoans who struggle with high utility bills. It's going to catalyze a workforce and economic opportunities in the clean energy economy. And it will enable Chicago to maximize federal funding for clean energy and climate mitigation efforts through the Inflation Reduction Act.
So again, using federal dollars to offset the impacts of whatever ordinance they ultimately do pass, to limit new natural gas installations in new buildings. And if you look at where we're at in the context of a national conversation of this, we've got the American Gas Association that released this statement, not in response to Chicago, but in response to other attempts. And this is interesting because, well, it goes back to the courts, as we tend to track here on Bishop on Air, is, bills that get brought up, they get passed into law, and then all of a sudden you get challenges against them. Well, in Washington, D.C., the American Gas Association, they released a statement earlier this month saying that the AGA president, Karen Harbert, releasing the following statement after the U.S. Court of Appeals in the Ninth Circuit decision reaffirmed that federal law preempts Berkeley's attempt to use building codes to restrict access to natural gas and thus prohibit consumers from using natural gas-powered appliances in newly constructed buildings. The quote goes on to say, this precedents a victory for safeguarding energy choice with national implications. Natural gas has been one of the primary drivers for achieving environmental progress, and any ban on this foundation fuel will saddle consumers with significant costs for little environmental gain. The natural gas industry has led the way in reducing the nation's emissions, and we will continue to innovate and advance technologies to help ensure Americans have access to the efficient and reliable energy they need and expect. Then the statement goes on to give some background here. It says in April of 2023, a 3-judge panel for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit held that the plain text and structure of the Energy Policy and Conservation Act preempts state and local building codes concerning the energy use of natural gas appliances, including Berkeley's building code, which prohibits natural gas piping into new buildings and thereby prevents those appliances from using natural gas. On January 2nd, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit denied Berkeley's request for review by the full Ninth Circuit, and the panel's decision was reaffirmed. So here we are again. It's government looking to limit or prohibit certain technologies or certain products that have been used for a long time. And then you get into the issue of how this is going to be litigated in the courts, and something I think is just rather fascinating, and maybe we'll watch to see if Chicago moves forward with this. What does it mean for the state of Illinois? Will they move forward with such an idea? And all of this in the context of green energy and bringing about solar and wind. But we saw in the frigid temperatures we just had, battery power's not that reliable. How many stories did you hear of electric vehicles being stranded because of sub-zero temperatures? It's just different way of using energy, and some are more reliable than others. Appreciate you guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and follow along. If you enjoy what you see each and every weekday morning here with Bishop on Air, you can support the program by checking out some merchandise. Just go to bishoponair.com. Click on the store, and voila. I'll have to get any shirt ideas you guys have in the live chat. Just share those. All right. Appreciate your time each and every weekday morning.